has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
And we are back, hour number 2, Ferrall Coast to Coast here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on a midweek Wednesday. We got a lot to do this hour. Davis Maddock with the lion's share. Cam is back for the golf picks. That's right, golf back tomorrow. PGA Tour in Kapalua, Maui, Hawaii for the Tournament of Champions. Very, very exciting. I know that I am. Joe's not. Joe's going to go with... who'd you say last night, Joe, you were going to go with? Somebody who was like 250 to 1 in the 59-man field. Camilo Villages, you're going to go. The kid, he's like one of the oldest guys on tour. The kid, Villages, who he won in the fall swing for the first time in like 15 years.
300 to 1. They say he loves the irons. The kid's coming out swinging.
The irons. We do have to, of course, always tell people, Joe, that if you don't have the new SportsGrid app by now, you're really just hurting yourself. You should go get it. It's available at both the iOS and the Play stores for you to download. You can track scores and live odds. You can stay up to speed on all the latest content from your favorite hosts like Joe Lisi. You can watch or listen live. So you can watch SportsGrid on the app. You can listen to SportsGrid Radio on the app, including Carver and Lisi weeknights at 8 p.m. East. So once again, go and get it. You can get it on iOS or the Play stores. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. Go to sportsgrid.com/watch to see all the platforms where you can find us on. All right, Joe, I have a few games that I just wanted to go through with you. And then later in the hour, we'll get into some other stuff. First of all, the NFC playoff picture, where it stands right now. Bucs win the NFC South with a victory in Carolina over the Panthers. Right now, Joe, -4.5. So this has gone down 5.5 yesterday. Now 4.5. 37.5 is the total. I did see a report this morning, Joe, that Baker is a little banged up and that they did a walkthrough today, and if there was a practice that he wouldn't have participated in it. So that's something to keep an eye on as we get closer to Sunday. We do welcome in all of our radio affiliates for Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. Mike Carver and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio, Sirius XM 159 and Sports Byline. Joe, down to 4.5 for the Bucs and the Panthers. I know where you are.
Yeah, I'm on the dog, baby. We talk about it, Carver, all the time. Last time that these teams played in Tampa Bay was 21-18. Bryce Young broke out with a huge fourth-quarter performance. It comes down to whether you're buying in to Carolina, you're buying into Tampa on the road. And I told you this last week, right? When you talk about certain teams stepping up against certain franchises, like New Orleans on the road in Tampa Bay, that's just a spot where the Saints have stepped up. Same thing with Tampa Bay. They always seem to struggle against Carolina. And you brought up last year, Brady lost that game. That was a game that Carolina won outright. Remember? Mm-hmm. They held them, I believe, to 7 points. I understand it's a different team. Give me Carolina in the mild upset.
Wow, you're going all the way with it, huh, Joe? Going all the way with Carolina. I don't even know. I wouldn't call it a mild upset. I guess because of the spread, you're calling it a mild upset. I mean, honestly, you got a 2-14 team that you got to beat to win your division and get in the playoffs. Like, you got to get the job done.
It's a 4.5, 3.5 spread. It's a monumental. It's a monumental. They smoke and mirrors. Smoke and mirrors.
Carolina does end up getting that upset against Tampa, that would mean, Joe, that the winner of the Atlanta-New Orleans game can then win the NFC South, as amazing as that is, especially since the Falcons are 7-9 right now. Saints -3, flat 42. And Arthur Smith, I saw a report also this morning, Joe, that Arthur Smith, they say, is going to be safe in Atlanta, which is very hard to believe. But they say that he's going to survive all this. Now, maybe that's different if they lose to the Saints on Sunday, Joe. But that was the report that was floating around this morning.
Oh, you think like Blank is saying, like, all right, let's prop him up and then we'll Billy Club him after he loses the ball game in New Orleans?
It's possible.
Whack.
It's possible.
Take him into the back of the yard, whack him. Let me ask you a question. Is that a 4 o'clock? Is the Baker game against Carolina is a 1 o'clock kick?
They're both 1 o'clock kicks. Both games are 1 o'clock kicks.
They shouldn't do that. That's
They
bad
have
look
to do
by
that.
the NFL.
They need because I'll tell you what. If they put them at different times, because if they put them at different times and Tampa wins at 1 o'clock, that game means nothing. They want Atlanta and New Orleans to have juice, so they kick the same time. That way, Atlanta and New Orleans they think they still have a chance.
Look, I don't like it. I don't like it. I like to have that stand a little bit.
This is what Week 18 is what we do.
Who said they're doing it right? Who said they're doing it right, Carver? I can't take Arthur Smith. You know why? He's gutless, and I like Heineke, and the other coach is gutless too. But I still think Derek Carr, that offense, are a little more consistent than Atlanta. I mean, Atlanta on the road. I mean, Atlanta as a whole, I can't buy in. They lost by 20 to Chicago last week. It's back-to-back road games.
You won't have me involved.
Who will you take? You're taking New Orleans?
I refuse to watch the game. I refuse. Atlanta, it's been such a miserable ride with them all year. I don't want to
attach your card to them. Congratulations. You attached your hip, your ticket. You put the 401k on Bijan Robinson for Rookie of the Year at 3-1. I understand. I told you not to do it. I told you. Complete money burn, Arthur Smith. Gutless. Give me New Orleans by default. New Orleans and the under.
Packers are the other NFC team that win and get in at home against the Bears. Packers -3, flat 44 is the total right now. I know you. I lean to the Bears, Joe, in this game. I lean to the Bears.
I'm going to alt this line. Packers -7. They're going to Billy Club them. LaFleur is so much of a better head coach than Eberflus.
I don't disagree there.
Too. He's terrible. I love Justin Fields, but my first order of business, if I was owner, I'd fire Eberflus. He's absolutely atrocious. I don't care how good the defense has been. The offense, they have no offensive weapons outside of DJ Moore. They have pedestrian weapons. Cole Kmet, Khalil Herbert. I mean, they're like average. Put some wide receivers around Justin Fields. Let the kid cook. Give him Marvin Harrison Jr.
If Green Bay were to lose, Seattle could be there to pick up the pieces. They're in Arizona against the Cardinals. 3-point road favorites, 47.5 is the total. Now, Seattle got the help last year, Joe, if you remember. Packers lost, Seattle won, and they got in. Not sure Lightning's going to strike twice in a row for them. I know one thing, myself and many others with Arizona Cardinal under 4.5 win tickets, we're big Seattle fans on Sunday, Joe. Seattle fans.
I have a feeling we're going to lose it. Did you see Kyler Murray play last week? I mean, all of a sudden, shot out of a cannon. I like the over, though.
Unbelievable
he's playing.
Yeah, Joe, we'll come back. Golf is back, and that means me and Cam making picks for the Tournament of Champions starting tomorrow in Hawaii. Let's go.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run, run, run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win, because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the book.
56% is really good. Anything close to 60 is retirement level stuff. So there's way more people on the lower side of that. You have to learn how to manage that. This is a game of give and take. I mean, or come in quick and hit him and get out.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
North Carolina, we've got new sports books operating for licenses. And, you know, a lot of news always coming out of there. One of the fresh sports betting states.
Well, they're a little behind the ball there, so I don't know if they'll be at the starting line in North Carolina. But yeah, a really interesting mix of applicants this early on so far.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
They were saying there's no way he could not possibly do this. He won't hold out.
Pro League Soccer powered by Marca.
Scoring teams in the league. They have 80 goals so far.
College football today.
The Hawks team total in the first half is 0.5.
Pro football today.
Interesting props in this game, but I would be cautious laying this number here with the Houston Texans.
In-game live all access.
In terms of these wild cards and in terms of the playoff picture.
In-game live prime time.
Rich, I don't know, man. This has just been one of those games that doesn't make a lick of sense.
In-game live overtime.
You want to give you over 3-1 on a pretty good team. It's hard not to take some flyers.
Football full circle.
Well, NFL officials stink. They always will stink, and they'll always ruin the game. You know, that's just part of what it is.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty here on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us. And man, is it great. It's a new year. They're about to tee it off tomorrow. And it is great to have Cam Stewart back with me
Carver.
On Coast to Coast for the Wednesday picks. Of course, you see Cam with Gabe at night on Sports Radio. Hi, Cam. I've missed you, buddy. Happy New Year.
I miss you too, Carver. Always a pleasure. I was even watching a documentary on old Tom Morris in St. Andrews today, getting me in the golfing spirit with those feathery balls and the rivalries and the Scottish guys killing each other. I can't wait for golf season. These guys are relentless, Carver. You talk about other athletes, golfers, more money, more tournaments. Couple weeks off, boom, these guys are right back at it at the Century. It's going to be fantastic. Kapalua playing very long, 7,600 yards. We got 59 guys this year, Carver, a little bit more than the last time. Last time it was under 40. So with all those silly events that we like to bet, we got extra guys in the tournament. So it's kind of like a half field tournament. So we can actually, pick a few more guys and have more fun.
Yeah, I actually kind of like it, Cam. They let obviously a lot of qualifiers, guys from the swing season in the fall get in here. The winners like Viajes and other guys that won tournaments got themselves into the mix. Lee Hodges is even playing in this thing. Nico Echevarria after his win down in Puerto Rico last year. So we have quite the crew. Me and Cam are going to do it like we always do. The outrights, the top 10s, 20s, and whatever, and the first-round leader bombs. Here is the chalk, Cam, for this week. Of course, Scotty Scheffler, plus 550, Victor Hovland, Patrick Cantlay, Colin Morikawa, who we'll discuss in a moment, Max Homa, Ludwig Aubert, Matt Fitzpatrick, Jordan Spieth, etc. Of course, last year, Cam, John Rahm was the winner. John Rahm not here anymore, as he now has his Letterman jacket from Greg Norman and the Live Tour. And Rahm won this tournament in spectacular fashion because he was down 7 strokes, basically like going to the back 9 against Morikawa last year. And Morikawa blew it, Cam. So that's where I'm going to start. Morikawa blew it last year at this tournament on the back 9 on Sunday. So he owes all of us, Cam, some tickets. He owes us a trip to the window. So 12-1 for Colin Morikawa. I'm going to go with Jordan Spieth at 22-1. I think Ricky Fowler is going to have a big year, Cam. off of finally getting back in the winner's circle last year, making the Ryder Cup team. I know he didn't perform well there, but I think a big year for Ricky Fowler maybe starts in Hawaii at 35-1. Hideki Matsuyama always plays well at this event for 55. And my deep bomb for this week, Cam. Hoagie Sandwich at $1.70, finished third here last year. And for a place that's a birdie fest, you say what you want about Hoagie, he can rack up birdies at courses like this, Cam.
And the thing is, too, don't let the 7,600 fool you. With the trade winds of Hawaii, it'll play a little bit shorter than that. So let's remember, some holes, a lot of cross winds there. So it's not as long. Like, you want to have distance, but Tom Hoagie's one of those guys. If he's hitting, like, he'll hit every fairway. These are humongous fairways, too, by the way, Carver. So, like, you know, you got to take some guys that tend to spray it. This is going to be good for them because he can hit it anywhere and get it on the green. So I'm going to go with my guys like Mork and Mindy, Nanu. Me and you are reading each other's mail, buddy. Morikawa, Rahm's not here. Finish the job. I can't take Scheffler at 5-1, so we're going to take you at 12-1 right now. I absolutely love that price. I like your Spieth call, Carver. Watch out for Jordan Spieth. He's hot, he's cold. We don't know what he's going to be, but I'm going to take him. Also, I got him in the top 20 and stuff, but let me take a look at my bets right now. We're going to take a look at Morikawa to win. I'm going with Tom Kim. Tom Kim, people don't know, 5th last year in this tournament, and a guy getting more experience. Matthew Fitzpatrick, 7th. What does he do, Carver? Very similar to Hoagie, just a little bit better of a golfer. Hoagie's like Fitzpatrick. Keep it in play, hit some putts. And my bomb, Matt Wallace, for old Braveheart there, the Wallace clan, 150-1. Want to hear something about Matt Wallace, buddy? You're not going to believe this stuff. Have you seen this guy's results recently? I couldn't believe it when I saw it. 2nd, 15th, 9th, 6th in his last 4 events.
Wow.
I know it's DP World Tour, but in good form, and these guys have only had a few weeks off. So give me Wallace. You got a big sandwich in Hoagie, and I'm going for my bomb with MW there. Let's roll.
Yeah, I think you're going to get me in on Fitzpatrick also, Cam, at that price at 30-1. So I think I'm going to join you with Matthew Fitzpatrick. All right, the top 5s, 10s, and 20s, of course, only a 59-man field this week. That means very good opportunity to cash some of these top 20s for us. Number 1, I have to have Scheffler somewhere, Cam, in a field like this because I'm not going to play him as the chalk at the top, but I'll play him for the top 5 at plus 130. Homa has played well here in the past, the top 5 at plus 280. Aubert has been like the hottest guy for 6 months, right? If you took the last 6 months, Aubert's been pretty ridiculous. So a top 10 at plus 140 for me. Tony Finau needs to bounce back, Cam. He had a miserable 2023 when it comes to what he did on the tour. So maybe he can get started out here at Kapalua, plus 260 for a T10. Harry English, a former winner of this tournament, for a top 20 at plus 140, and I will double up Hoagie Sandwich with a top 20 at plus 280.
Love the picks, Carver. I'm going to tell you something, too, about Finau. This course will fit him very well. He's a guy that can absolutely rip it. We all know with Tony, if his putter's hot, he'll be there. If not, he probably won't. But I'm with you. Scotty Scheffler, you could take him at 5-1, or you can wait for him live, or you take him top 5 like we did. So that's what we're going to do. Aberg every week, Aberg, whatever you want to call him. Aberg, I want you to pronounce it because I'm Aberg. I'm like Don Cherry. I'm not changing. He's Ludwig Aberg for life, and he's plus 140 for a top 10. Watch out for Jason Day. Old man Day's found his game at plus 120. Our friend, Nat King Cole, another guy, not the length, but will play well. And my boy, Matt Wallace at plus 270. Why not, Carver? Let's rock.
The form is there, Cam, and I didn't know how well Wallace had played on the DP World Tour going into this. So I think that that's somebody that I'm probably going to have to add myself. And I think that you saw Nat King Cole, our guy Eric Cole, he came close a lot last year. And I just got a feeling that it's coming for him this year with the way that he played, and he's going to build off of that. The first round leader bombs. Little tougher. We don't have as good of prices because of the 59-man field, but that doesn't mean we can't find some here, Cam. How about Cameron Forever Young at 30-1? There's Eric Cole. I knew I had him on my card somewhere. 35-1 for first round leader. Dangerous Denny McCarthy at a birdie fest at 45-1. Svensson is a first round leader staple because he plays well on Thursday and then goes in the tank. 60-1 for him. Davis Riley at 70-1. And Nick the Dentist Taylor, who, of course, Cam, is here for his win at the Canadian Open, 70-1 for first-round leader there.
Got to tell you, as Prime Minister, Canadians will let you down, except for Nick the Dentist Taylor. He's the guy that came through when you needed him in the clutch. He's a guy, I give him the Order of Canada. He's my friend, Carver. I actually took some first-round leaders. I didn't get to you because I was taping some other shows with some other guys not as cool as you. Yeah, a lot of meatballs. You just heard these NFL talks routing. Da-da-da-da-da. It's like, shut the hell up. I don't care what your system says. Give me Morikawa at 20-1. Spieth, he's a hot starter sometimes, hot and cold at 30. Jason Day at 40. Watch out for JT Poston at 55. Sahith Theegala, he's like a Thursday warrior, 45. And my boy Wallace at 70-1, Carver. I'm going to play your guy. And also on the outrights, Jordan Spieth is an all-or-nothing player. He could either win this thing or miss the cut. You never know what you're going to get with him. Right. I'm going to play him on top of it. I got a good feeling about Spieth and Mork this week.
Yeah, I think Spieth and Morikawa are the two, Cam, that I'm clearly honing in on the most. I'm going to probably invest the most on those two guys. And with a short field like this, there's going to be lots of chances. We just told you at the top of this segment. You had a guy win last year who was 7 strokes back going into the final round. And I know that that's John Rahm, Cam, and maybe that's a special situation because that guy's absolutely ridiculous. But still, there's going to be chances here with how this course plays for Sunday, some guys to make a little climb back into the mix. Cam, I am so glad that this is back. Next week buddy. We are in, and now we're rolling. It's every week now, Cam. Next week we're back in Hawaii for the Sony. Much different field than this one. A few of the guys will stay, and then we'll have a lot of the jabronis that we also love to fill out the rest of that tournament. Cam Stewart, we'll see you tonight with Gabe on Sports Rage Late Night. Let's cash some tickets for the first tournament of the year, Cam. I absolutely love it. Coast to coast. We're back after this.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
It looked like it was going in. It hit the upright and bounced out and did not go in. There's more scoring in an MLS soccer game than there is this Cotton Bowl.
The Chargers didn't know what the hell to do with Staley for years. They're a clown show in Chiefs. Denver's got this issue, Gabe. Like, the Chiefs must just be sitting there going, wow, what a bunch of brain trust we work with in this division.
Sports Rage Late Night. Only on SportsGrid.
I'm laying the 14.5.
And against the number as an underdog this year, meaning when they cover, they went out by beat.
There's a very real chance that this Michigan season is the best chance they will have.
Oh, Rocky Top, Tennessee.
Am I just a side better now?
I'm right here on Saturday on College Football Today. It's bowl season, baby.
College Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby. The money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Yay, congratulations, but the game was over at that point, so another one of those terrible beats if you had 3.5, 4, even 4.5. This was a 10-point game until the final closing seconds.
In-game live, prime time. Only on SportsGrid.
SportsGrid, the only streaming sports betting network. Tips, info, and insights to up your IQ. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
The brighter the lights, the bigger the stakes. Hunt or be hunted. Know your prey. This is a whole new jungle. This is The Lion's Share. Brought to you by BetMGM.
And we are back, Ferrall, coast to coast here on a Wednesday. Carver High in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have you with us. BetMGM has you ready to go. $1,500 first bet offer. This is for all new BetMGM Sportsbook account users. You got to download the BetMGM Sportsbook app on iOS or Android, or visit BetMGM.com. Sign up and use the deposit code SG1500 and deposit at least $10 into your BetMGM Sportsbook account. Place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. If the bet does lose, your bonus bets will be available once your initial wager is settled. That is BetMGM's $1,500 first bet offer. Bonus code SG1500. Speaking of BetMGM, it is time for the Lion's Share, brought to you by BetMGM. And we have Davis Maddock with us every day here on Coast to Coast. Saturday mornings, of course, Fantasy Sports Today as well. Davis, good to see you as always, my man. Let's get right into it. We have a lot to accomplish today, and we'll go into the NBA where a big slate tonight, Davis, right? I mean, just a ton of games in the NBA. And why don't we start with Milwaukee, who are playing the Pacers again? Now, I feel like, Davis, this is like the 95th
Yeah,
of the
95th
season.
time they've played. Yeah.
The Bucks. Bucks minus 3.5. 257.5. We love these big 250 plus totals when these two teams get together.
Yep, the Bucks just lost to the Pacers on New Year's Day, and they also lost to them back on December 7th. So you might be saying, Davis, what are we doing here? I mean, come on, two games. It's a trend. Right? Look, the Bucks they're a better team than the Indiana Pacers. And it's, the Pacers are fun. They're exciting. They're young. I think one thing that is difficult for them right now is they are missing Bruce Brown. Obviously, Benedict Mathurin had a pretty strong game for them the other night. They've got the Pacers might lead the league, and I remember that guys. They have they got Obi Toppin on the bench. They got Jalen Smith, lots of guys. Buddy Hield, Just sometimes I just remember Buddy Hield is on the Indiana Pacers, and you're like, yeah, I guess Buddy Hield is a pretty good offensive player, but the Bucks are having this very weird season. We've talked about it a bunch. The sky is always falling for the Milwaukee Bucks. They got the second best record in the entire NBA. They are 6th in the NBA in net rating. They have the 3rd best offense in the NBA. We are taking the Bucks tonight here at the Pacers. I just think the Bucks are a little overvalued right now.
They are a little overvalued right now, and this has been like a nice little rivalry that's kind of developed because, like you said, they played that in-season tournament game in Vegas. They're playing this home and home here. You had the other game where Giannis set the franchise record and the Pacers ran away with the ball, and he wanted to fight everybody in the tunnel. So this has been fun when these two teams have gotten together so far this season. Next, let's go to the Thunder, who got a big win last night at home against the Celtics. Now they hit the streets into Atlanta against the Hawks, who, let's just say it, they suck. Minus 1.5 for the Thunder on the road, 248.5, another big total.
Okay, I tried all day to figure out why this line is what it is. Is Shea sitting out? Did Chet roll his ankle or something last night? Does Lou Dort having a family emergency? He's got to go back to Quebec and take care of... I can't find anything. I do not see... Now, clearly, Carver, something is coming, right? Some key piece of the Oklahoma City Thunder rotation is not playing tonight for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'll guess it's probably Shea, who is not going to be playing tonight for whatever reason. I do not care. The Hawks stink. The Thunder, not only are they maybe the second best team in the NBA, You could make a convincing argument that they have actually been the best team in the NBA. They have beaten, they smoked the Denver Nuggets and the Boston Celtics when they both played. They've gone toe to toe against everyone. I don't care if Casey Wallace is starting. I don't care if big Jalen Williams has to start at center with Chet Holmgren out, and then the other Jalen Williams starts on the wing, or if Isaiah Joe has to start with Chet out. They are, with any of those lineup permutations, they are better than the Atlanta Hawks.
Yeah, their injury report that they put out 2 hours ago had nobody of significance listed on it. So it is a little bizarre, like you say, considering how well the Thunder have played this year. I guess they're just leaning into back-to-back on the road, Hawks not on the back. I mean, are we really leaning that far into all of that? But I'm with you. Let's go with the Thunder here tonight. Next, we have the Knicks at home against the Bulls at the Garden. Bulls coming into town, 8.5 for the Knicks and 220.5 on the lower side, considering what we've been used to here in the NBA so far this season.
Yeah, way lower. I mean, the thing is that I just, with totals like these, I think that the move here is to go over. And actually, I must have said something wrong here, but I got the over on 220.5 here. This is what I've been doing on all these really low lines. We had, we had Spurs Grizzlies the other day that was like 218.5. It's just like, this is not the way the modern NBA is played anymore. The Bulls have a bunch of injuries to like their only good defensive players. Vooch is out right now. So Torrey Craig is out right now. They're playing Andre Drummond at center. You're telling me that Andre Drummond, who is like Zion Williamson-esque, he's like a fire hydrant on defense. So we are going to take the over here in Bulls Knicks. This is not your classic 1990s Knicks defense. Although OG Anunoby, I think he will help, but he's been on the team for like 72 hours. He's not there yet.
I will say, Davis, you're not crazy. I have you for over 219.5 from this morning as well. So I'm not going crazy, Davis. That's what I have. Orlando, after losing in Golden State last night, they have a back-to-back on the West Coast into Sacramento, who lost outright to the Hornets, Davis. You had the Hornets with the points. They won the game outright against Sacramento. Tonight, the Magic are getting now 4.5. It was 5 earlier this morning, 231.5 the total.
Yeah, I mean, look, we said yesterday on the show, too many points. It was obviously it was too many points. The Hornets freaking outright won that game. I've been pretty aggressive on the Magic this year. We lost by the hook last night against Golden State. We had them +5. They lose by 6. Things you don't absolutely love to see. But the same exact thesis for why I was on the Magic last night, coming back again tonight. I think this is just a good basketball team. Obviously, the thing they are crying out for is a point guard. Markelle Fultz was upgraded to questionable last night. Obviously, there's some chance that he plays tonight. I think that would be big, but it's not even really about him or the fact that Joe Ingles is not playing either. It's just that I think the Magic played this great defense. Obviously, they struggle to score, but the Kings losing outright to the Hornets last night, not particularly inspiring ball.
No, not particularly inspiring ball whatsoever. There you go. Lion Share. There's a couple other good games too. Clippers are in Phoenix against the Suns. Heat are in LA against the Lakers. So a good night of NBA if you would like to get involved. To the NFL. It's the final week of the regular season, Davis. And whether you're just looking to bet props or play daily fantasy, whatever you want, this is very tough because let me just read this list to you of who you got to deal with this weekend. Blaine Gabbert, Jeff Driscoll, Carson Wentz, Nick Mullins, Trevor Siemian, Easton Stick, Tyrod Taylor, Sam Howell, Mason Rudolph, Jarrett Stidham, Tyler Huntley, Sam Darnold. They're all starting at quarterback for their teams this coming weekend, Davis. That's tough.
It is absolutely tough. I mean, look, we are very used to, it used to be week 17, now week 18, we have even more games that are, basically totally useless. The way I would tell you to approach it is, maybe you go a little bit lighter on the betting menu, or maybe, this is definitely not good gambling advice, but this is how I treat a lot of these slates. Like if I don't think there's a real strong edge, if I'm not like, oh, this is like the spot for Carver's Buffalo Bills, I'm probably more likely to just take whatever I would have done on, if I'm going to bet $200 on sides and totals, maybe I just portion that out into a bunch of like $10, $20, $25 same game parlays that are like 6 leg, or I do the anytime touchdown bet. I've got LaMichael Pirine for the Chiefs and Keelan Doss for the Chargers, and I'm just betting on all these backups, just like purely lottery style playing, because it's a pretty fraught activity trying to lock all this stuff down for week 17 or week 18.
It really is. And I think the other thing you could do is, and I like where you're going with playing the backups. And of course, everybody's going to put out all their information the next 4 days about who needs what for incentives. You have that too. I mean, the hot one that I've seen already this week is DeAndre Hopkins needs like 6 catches for $125,000. He needs 2 touchdowns for another $125,000. So maybe expect a lot of feeding of DeAndre Hopkins in that Tennessee Jaguar game. But you talk about you're going to get good prices on the alts for a lot of these guys too. The Jeff Driscolls, and their alt passing totals are probably going to be ridiculous. And a few of these games, Davis, do get stupid in the final week of the season. So there's probably some chances there as well.
I mean, you probably just hit on the best angle, which is like, maybe you're a Jeff Driscoll truther. You have been forever. You have always believed in him. Never thought he got a fair shake. I mean, we saw it with Stidham last year. Was it 375 and 3 for the Raiders? Like, pick one of those guys. Maybe your dude's Easton Stick. Maybe you're a Blaine Gabbert guy. Maybe you think the Chiefs get free here. Whatever it is, because you are going to get like 300 passing yards. I remember I did one with Flacco the other day. 303 was like 25-1 in that Thursday night game against the Jets. So pick a good angle like that.
Davis, we will see you on Friday. Of course, Warren Sharp tomorrow. Back Friday for the Lion's Share. Heading into the weekend. Davis Maddock, we're back after this on the Grid.
The Lion's Share, presented by BetMGM.
One of the first states to legalize sports betting, and finally, quietly, legalizing the online portion. And that, of course, is Delaware.
Delaware offered parlay cards through their lottery for years. Right. And the local retailers didn't want to lose that money. They didn't want to lose the guys that were coming in to fill out those parlay cards, and they're buying some beef jerky and chips on the way out of the store as well.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run, run, run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now, we saw a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division favorite.
I don't care if they win, because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Back! I'm laying the 14.5. And against the number as an underdog this year, meaning when they cover, they went out by.
There's a very real chance that this Michigan season is the best chance they will have.
Oh, Rocky Top, Tennessee.
So, am I just a side better now?
I'm right here on Saturday on College Football Today. It's bowl season, baby.
College Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. SportsGrid, your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy Sports Today.
They were saying there's no way he could not possibly do this. He won't hold out.
Pro League Soccer, powered by Marca.
Scoring teams in the league. They have 80 goals so far.
College Football Today.
The Hawks' team total in the first half is 0.5.
Pro Football Today.
Interesting props in this game, but I would be cautious laying this number here with the Houston Texans.
In-game live all
You see it in the
access.
NFC in terms of these wild cards and in terms of the playoff picture.
In-game live, prime time.
Rich, I don't know, man. This has just been one of those games that doesn't make a lick of sense here.
In-game live, overtime.
You want to give the over 3-1 on a pretty good team. It's hard not to take some flyers.
Football full circle.
Well, NFL officials stink. They always will stink, and they'll always ruin the game. You know, that's just part of what it is.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back for El Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. Great to have everybody with us here today. All right, Joe, just a couple of other things NFL-wise, and then we'll start to get into some other things. First of all, I was just talking to Davis about this, and I want to hear you because you're pretty nuts with this stuff. You love alt. You like getting greedy. You like doing all this stuff. So this is who's starting this week in terms of quarterbacks in the NFL. Blaine Gabbert, Jeff Driscoll, Carson Wentz, Nick Mullins, Simeon, Easton Stick, Tyrod Taylor, Sam Howell, Jared Stidham. You have Tyler Huntley. Sam Darnold is going to start for the Niners. Lots of backup quarterbacks, Joe. Sam Darnold is going to start as well. Lots of backup quarterbacks and lots of opportunity maybe, Joe, because if you can, as me and Davis were saying, kind of find the right one and you do some alts, 250, 275, 300, because the numbers are probably going to be very light on some of these hacks like Driscoll. I mean, you're going to get light numbers on these guys.
Yeah, but Driscoll can ball a little bit. I'll tell you, any game that
Jeff Driscoll...
Here
we go. Jeff, he could ball a little bit. Here we go.
He
Go
can.
ahead,
Jeff Driscoll's an over machine. I love Jeff Driscoll. So what's wrong with him? Why does that bother you, by the way?
Because you love these guys, these insignificant second, third string quarterbacks. You live for these guys. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, if the guy could ball, Nick Mullins and Carson Wentz are human turnover machines. So it depends on how you play it. I mean, I will say maybe we should just do. What was that back in the day? The grand salami would just take every over across the board.
Can't do that. That's for sure. Not with some of these games. Because you're gonna take the over in the Jet Patriot game. You're gonna take the over in that game.
Yeah, hero. Why not?
Nah, you're not. You could say that. I said it. You just want to. I said it. That's what you want to be able to do on Monday.
Listen to me. I have. Why don't we do this? Seriously. Let's put our heads together, and this is a tough ask, I know. We'll go and we'll alt games like that down to like 20 points, and then we'll alt others up, and we'll take every game. We'll try to smash the book 400,000 on a 16-game wheel parlay special. Smash your bookie in the face with a shovel. Why not?
You got a lot of time on your hands, Joe. You can go ahead and do that. You can go ahead and set that up for me. Send me.
Wait a second. All you have is time. What are you talking about?
Not true.
That's all
Not
you
true.
have is time.
Not
are
true.
you kidding me? You got
Not
18
true.
loaves under each arm. Who are you kidding? I heard you. You're sending me wheel parlays. You had fantastic.
You've been on fire, Joe.
Football.
You've been on fire right now, that's for sure. Best and worst against the spread. I give this to you every week. Only one game to go. Browns, Lions, and Ravens, 11-5 against the number here. Bucks, Dolphins, Raiders. Got the Raiders 9-6-1. You get the Jags. Everybody else 9-7. Best teams against the spread, Joe.
Well, I mean, every team that's on there is basically, for the most part, going to the playoffs. I mean, think about it. I mean, most. I mean, 80% of that list. So it's tough. It's tough because you have the perception of, let's say, a team like you said, like the Cowboys, or the Cowboys need to smash Washington, but But a team like the Ravens that are so good against the spread, you have that perception in there, and sometimes they suck you in. We have to, maybe this is the week we take the teams that are bad against the spread. Carolina.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I have that
Carolina,
list for you. A few of them are playing each other, unfortunately. Right now, the Falcons are all alone, 5-11 against the spread there. Bottom right corner, they are the worst. The Patriots and Saints and Panthers and Jets are all 5-10-1. So 4 of those 5 teams, Joe, are playing each other. Jets are playing the Patriots.
Yeah, but
Saints are
no
playing
shot.
the Falcons in that game.
Shot.
So
they got no shot. Jets have no shot. Belichick, Bill Belichick, Belichick is not going to allow that to happen. Belichick.
Bill's 6-10 against the spread there, despite being 10-6 overall. I have this for you as well. Final week of the regular season, there are awards that, of course, will be decided after this. We won't know the winners of those until we get to that NFL Honors Show, which is Super Bowl week. But here is what we have, Joe, in terms of the favorites for all of these awards. Lamar, of course, is heavy favorite for the MVP. He's going to win. McCaffrey's minus 375 for offense. Garrett now minus 200 defense. Myles Garrett for Cleveland. Hamlin's minus 130 for comeback player. Stefanski's minus 1,000 for coach. C.J. Stroud's minus 1,000 offensive rookie, and Jalen Carter minus 700. Seems to me, Joe, like everything is like wrapped up here going into Week 18. I get everything's wrapped up, done deal, finished.
Well, what about Carter? Do we have any shot with Devin Witherspoon?
No, 0, finished. No shot at that one. Not getting it, Joe. He's not even second on the odds board anymore. I think Will Anderson is now. So he's not even second on the odds board. I don't think he has a shot.
That was your pick.
Well, he was playing well at the beginning of the year. And then, rookies sometimes hit a wall, Joe. And I think that's kind of what happened for him. He had some injuries. He had some other things pop up. But Carter was your guy anyway. You love these Georgia guys.
I know,
Jalen
but
Carter.
we did that parlay, and look at what happened.
Just remember something. We didn't do the parlay. You did the parlay, not we. You did the parlay because I couldn't play the parlay in New York. I can't play awards.
Yeah. Well, you got to talk to your boy Adabo.
Got to talk to Adabo. I got to talk to Adabo. I know. I got to talk to Adabo. Final thing for you, Joe, and then I'm going to move on to the NBA. The NFL sent David Tepper a bill for $300,000 for throwing his drink at the fans in Jacksonville, and I saw it's like 0.03% of his net worth or something like. They really threw the book at him, Joe, with $300,000 for throwing the drink at the guy.
Unbelievable. What did the fans say? He was just upset? Like, well, what was the reason?
I don't know. There was no sound. You just saw him throwing the drink out. Maybe, who knows what was going on there. But we got to act a little bit better if we own one of the franchises. Everybody's got to act a little bit better at these games. Even the owners now, apparently, have to act a little bit better. So, been very tough. So there you go. NFL for you, Week 18. We will do more tomorrow here on C2C. NBA for you now, Joe. Few things from last night. The Bulls they were getting absolutely demolished in Philly. Somehow, Joe, they only lost by 13. When we were doing the radio show, they were down like 30 at one point in that game. So the Bulls, who we'll talk about, they have a back-to-back tonight. They are in New York City at the Garden against the Knicks. The Grizzlies beat the Spurs 106-98. You were on the Spurs, I believe, there, Joe. So that was a cover for you. But unfortunately for the Spurs, they did get this, which was John Morant absolutely throwing it down on Wembanyama. I mean, poster-like stuff, Joe, on Bally Sports Memphis.
Feel comfortable with his own little floater. Wemby misses that three, and the Grizzlies again doing a good job of holding the Spurs to one field goal attempt.
Ja again, sent it in. Crowd goes crazy, and why not?
Ja Morant is with his famous crossover move there, and then is able to elevate before Wembanyama can get back and Hello, Wemby. Let me introduce you to Mr. Morant. Y'all haven't met before.
Look out, Joe.
Yeah.
That was a lookout one if you saw that one last night. Pelicans beat the Nets Pelicans beat the Nets 112-85. It wasn't even that close. Thunder beat the Celtics outright, Joe. They were getting 3.5 at home, and they ended up beating them. The Warriors beat the Magic 121-115. Why do I do this? Because Joe yesterday wanted to alt Curry to like 35 and a whole bunch of threes. Well, Curry had 36, Joe, and he was hitting threes all over the place on NBC Sports Bay Area.
Curry backs up and hits a three. Come on! This one almost touches the scoreboard. It's a skyscraper. Talk about giant killers. That man is one.
He only did.
How many did he have?
He had 36 points, but he only had 4 threes. He only had 4
3-0 in the NBA yesterday. I'm a wheel. I mean, I told you the 76ers, I told you Pop would have them ready, plus the 11.
I said it.
And I
said
it. Wheel,
yeah.
NBA wheel.
And the Hornets beat the Kings outright, Joe. Hornets with
Terry
the win.
Rozier? What did Rozier do?
I don't think he did much in that game, to be quite honest with you. Sorry. He had 34. My apologies, Joe. He did do much in that game. And that was with having the sniffles.
I told you, Carver, you cost us money yesterday.
Cost you money. Cost you money. I was never playing Terry Rozier, so cost you money.
Oh, you're gutless.
I didn't tell you not to play him. All I told you was that the guy was sick. He had the sniffles.
I don't know what you're talking about when you play the NBA. I'm a wheel. Get it right. I'm smashing everything here.
You're on fire, Joe. Let's see if you can try again tonight. First, the best teams. We did this in the NFL, now doing the NBA. I love doing this with you. Best teams against the spread so far. Thunder, 23-8-1. Then the Sixers, Magic, Rockets, Jazz, and Pelicans. So the Jazz, Joe, are 20-14 against the number. And they are not a good basketball team. So that's one of those teams that kind of jumps out at you. What's the Jazz straight up now, Joe, so far this year?
Jazz
15 and 19.
Size. They got no size. They can't crash the boards.
Well, they cover, Joe. They're 20-14 against the spread, so they do cover. Give them that.
I'm thinking about going after this Hawk team now. Thinking, I see it.
The Hawks are the worst team against the number so far this year. They have Oklahoma City coming into town tonight. I'll give you those numbers in a moment, but they're 7-25 ATS. Suns, Pistons, Spurs, and Grizzlies also on that list of the worst.
Yeah, the Suns are the worst. I mean, every night, Durant, money burn, Booker. All of a sudden, Booker's not a ball hog anymore, right? When he's in there, incredible.
Incredible indeed. Best over and under. Pacers 21-11-1 to the over every night, and they're in the 250s again tonight with Milwaukee. Sixers have been over a lot. The Spurs, the Pistons, the Bucks, the Hawks, etc. The Grizzlies and the Nuggets are the two best teams to the under so far this year, Joe.
I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I only play overs in the NBA. The only time I would play an under is if you give me the 258, 260, then I'll bet an under.
Well, you're going to have to think about that for tonight because as of right now, Pacers Bucks is 257.5. So we'll have to. Sold. I'll give you those at the top of the hour. We will come back. We'll do This Day in Sports History. More bowl classics for you, Joe, in This Day in Sports History today. Bro, coast to coast on a Wednesday. We're back after this.
Quarterback at quarterback. We're going to lay some juice. We're going to have some dog prices, and we're going to go right in the middle.
Because I don't know what they're doing. To me, they're in a complete rebuild, Kev.
Go run. That's where overbackers on this 51.5 shot.
So right now, he's a little bit more over money, but it's hovering right around.
The winner of this game will be the division
I
favorite.
don't care if they win because all we care about is the money, baby, the money.
Pro Football Today. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid. The Bostonian versus the Book.
56% is really good. Anything close to 60 is retirement level stuff. So there's way more people on the lower side of that. You have to learn how to manage that. This is a game of give and take. I mean, or come in quick and hit them and get out.
The Bostonian versus the Book.
We spent all offseason where the NFL said, hey, just so you guys know, running backs don't matter. If we then this year give the MVP to a running back, the irony. I am disappointed that they lost to FAU because secretly I don't really like this FAU team very much. I don't know. They're just not for me. And now they've completely legitimized the Owls.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
North Carolina, we've got new sports books operating for licenses, and a lot of news always coming out of there. One of the fresh sports betting states.
Well, they're a little behind the ball there, so I don't know if they'll be at the starting line in North Carolina. But yeah, a really interesting mix of applicants this early on so far.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid. SportsGrid. Your 24/7 sports wagering network. Fantasy sports today.
They were saying there's no way he could not possibly do this. He won't hold out.
Pro League Soccer powered by Marca.
Scoring teams in the league. They have 80 goals so far.
College football today.
The Hawks team total in the first half is 0.5.
Pro football today.
Interesting props in this game, but I would be cautious laying this number here with the Houston Texans.
In-game live all access.
In the NFC in terms of these wild cards and in terms of the playoff picture.
In-game live, prime time.
Rich, I don't know, man. This has just been one of those games that doesn't make a lick of sense here.
In-game live, overtime.
You want to give the over 3-1 on a pretty good team. It's hard not to take some flyers.
Football full circle.
Well, NFL officials stink. They always will stink, and they'll always ruin the game. That's just part of what it is.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
And we are back, Ferrall Coast to Coast on a Wednesday. Carver High and Joe Lisi in for Scotty on SportsGrid and SportsGrid Radio. It is time, Joe, for this day in Carver High history. Some really good ones today. 1920, the Boston Red Sox trade Babe Ruth to the Yankees. How'd that one work out, Joe? How'd that work out? Boston trading Babe Ruth to the Yankees. Not very good for Boston, that's for sure. More Yankee ones. 1973. George Steinbrenner and 11 others buy the New York Yankees from CBS. Forget this, Joe. $10 million. They are now worth $7 billion. George and the crew bought them for $10 million, and then George threw everybody else out. 1991, Wayne Gretzky becomes the fastest player to score 700 goals. The Kings beat the Islanders at the Mausoleum 6-3 that night. 1993, the greatest comeback in NFL playoff history, non-Super Bowl related, I guess. I guess the Patriots beating the Falcons is now the greatest comeback in playoff history, right, Joe? Super Bowl history. But Frank Reich leads the Bills down 32 in Orchard Park back to beat the Oilers 41-38 in overtime. I remember, Joe, 12-year-old Mike Carver sitting in the living room at my parents' house watching Frank Reich go to work in that second half. And I still could it's right in front of my face, Joe. I remember it like it was yesterday. What a moment. 2003, Ohio State beats Miami at the Fiesta Bowl. Or shall we say, Joe, Miami gets robbed of their second straight national championship with that awful flag that guy threw in the corner on that play in overtime. Can you believe he threw that flag, Joe?
Yes, I had them plus 6.5. I was happy, and the game went to overtime. I got the over.
2007, Nick Saban resigns from the Dolphins to take the Alabama job. I'd say that one worked out pretty well for Alabama. Nick Saban leaving the Dolphins to go to Tuscaloosa. All right, we have another hour to go. Ferrall Coast to Coast, Carver Ryan, Joe for Scotty. We're back after this.